The recent activity in crypto, especially with XRP, can be summed up in one word: volatility. But here's the thing. This kind of movement is completely normal, even in a bull market. What we're seeing now is just part of the ride. In fact, as I'll share insights from several top chart analysts, 7 or 8 to be precise, the big picture expectations for XRP remain strong. Remember when XRP recently hit around $2.36? As of now, it's sitting at $2.13. Bitcoin has dipped a little too, hovering below its recent high of $98,000, 0 cents. So buckle up. This is all just part of the crypto adventure. Now it's $94.76. Moves like this, especially when they drag out, can rattle nerves. But honestly, it's par for the course. From a historical lens, this is just how the game works. Ask any skilled chart analyst, one who knows their stuff, and they'll confirm this kind of fluctuation is nothing unusual. The exciting part though, if history has a habit of repeating itself, and the analysts I trust seem to think so, they'll tell you one thing loud and clear: the best is yet to come. In fact, some believe it's just around the corner. There's definitely a chance, some analysts suggest, that this cycle might be taking a bit longer to unfold than the last one. But here's the kicker. Even those analysts agree that the key metrics and chart patterns still align with previous trends. So there's plenty of reason to stay optimistic that we're nearing the end of this phase. And guess what? Another major surge for XRP could be on the horizon, and it's shaping up to be absolutely monumental. Unless, of course, this time is different. But let's be real. Famous last words, right? Before diving deeper, let me make one thing crystal clear. I'm not a financial expert, and this isn't financial advice. Please don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say, all right? All right, as I sit down to record this, it's 7:02 p.m. Central Time, my home base. The date, Monday, May 5th, 2025. Now, let's dive into a post by chart analyst Tech Dev, someone who's been a sharp observer of crypto trends for years. He's been crunching the numbers and pointing out that, in his view, the cycles of the crypto market haven't really changed. The timing just shifts slightly. His words, this was always when it started. He's shared a chart showing Bitcoin's price history on top and the global business cycle below. If you look closely, you'll notice a pattern. Despite the longer durations between major surges, the rhythm remains the same. The data stretches back to 2011, reinforcing his argument that this moment right now could be the start of something big. And remember, this is coming from someone who's been in the crypto game practically since day one. He's basically saying this time isn't different. It's business as usual, right? Check out this post from chart analyst Mustache, who's tracking the USDT market cap dominance. Here's the deal. Tether dominance isn't where it's expected to be yet. It's still too high. And according to him, it needs to drop further to send Bitcoin and altcoins soaring. Why? Well, stable coins like USDT and USDC are often seen as dry powder. When people are holding on to them, they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for the right moment. But this is a pattern we've seen time and again. Every single cycle, as Bitcoin hits its peak and altcoins take off, Tether dominance drops. Why? Because people stop holding stable coins and start buying assets. Some of it is FOMO, some of it's traders waiting for a clear reversal before deploying their funds. Either way, this phase is completely normal for this point in the cycle, and that's why Mustache is shining a spotlight on Tether dominance. It's just another piece of the puzzle pointing to where we are right now. Not for long. Bitcoin's about to make a dramatic move upward, hitting its final parabolic run. But here's the catch. Bitcoin dominance will fade as altcoins steal the spotlight, outperforming like crazy. That's the game. Check this out. Mustache just posted something interesting. He's talking about the total crypto market cap. His take, in case you missed it, the total market cap has reclaimed a 1.5-year trend line on the weekly chart. Then, with a hint of sarcasm, he adds, probably nothing. But let's be real, it's definitely something. This is where it gets exciting. Analysts keep comparing this cycle to the last, not just for coins like XRP, but for the entire crypto market. The trend line he's referencing, it's testing key levels, bouncing right where it did during the previous cycle. Even if there's a slight deviation, who cares? That's standard in charting. I'm no chart wizard, but I've followed enough experts to know this stuff matters. Here's an update from chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto. He's looking at the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and predicts a big crash up after the retest. His advice, prepare accordingly. It's refreshing to see optimism from an analyst with a solid track record. I'm always wary of analysts who flip-flop with every shift in sentiment. You know, the type, one day they're screaming doom and the next, when the price moves, they completely change their tune. Those are the ones I avoid. Mikey Bull Crypto, on the other hand, stays steady. He's the kind of analyst who called the market bottom even when others were panicking, predicting Bitcoin would plunge from $16,000 0 cents. Spoiler alert, it didn't. These are the voices I trust, the ones with vision and consistency. Now's not a time for fear, it's a time for excitement. Sure, we might have to wait a little longer for the next big move, but I can live with that. Can you? Crypto Wizard is back with some intriguing insights. He shared a Bitcoin USD chart, noting, higher to go. I'd do anything to relive 2020, or maybe I don't need to. Why? Because Bitcoin appears to be mirroring the 2020 bull run almost perfectly. Patience, he says, is key. The main rally is still ahead. Looking back to 202021, we saw how the last cycle unfolded. And according to him, the current chart on the right is playing out in a strikingly similar way. If his analysis holds true, the best is yet to come. It's fascinating, isn't it? Analyst after analyst seems to echo the same perspective, and I can't help but find it intriguing. History has this knack for rhyming with itself, and we're watching it unfold again. Bitcoin surges to the top, and the speculation frenzy begins. Where will it peak this time? That's the big question, and discovering the answer will be half the fun. While I don't claim to have a crystal ball, I'm confident XRP is on a similar trajectory, is gearing up for its own rocket ride. Don't be shocked if XRP keeps outshining the rest of the top 100 coins. Right now, it's the best performing coin since the election, a true standout. Who could have seen this coming a year ago? Honestly, it doesn't shock me. Maybe it doesn't shock you either. But for anyone outside the XRP community, this must feel like a complete curveball. Yet, it all made perfect sense, both from a charting perspective and a fundamental one. And let's not forget, part of those fundamentals was the SEC's artificial suppression, which, poof, is now out of the picture. So here we are. Speaking of which, check out this post from X-Force Global. XRP is making waves, sitting firmly in bullish territory. Analysts are eyeing new all-time highs, provided it stays above the $1.60 mark. No small feat, but one it's currently managing with ease. That $1.60 level was the most recent dip after hitting a fresh peak. But let's be real, crypto volatility is nothing new. Think about it. XRP shot up to $3.40, only to briefly tumble back to $1.60. For anyone outside the crypto world, losing over half its value in a flash sounds insane. Yet, for seasoned investors, it's just another day in the market. The drop didn't last long, and XRP quickly rebounded. This kind of wild fluctuation is par for the course, even for a veteran coin like XRP, which has been around for over a decade. Sure, it might rattle new crypto traders, but for those in the know, it's just the nature of the game. Crypto Insight UK just dropped a new video, and it's a must watch. He's calling for XRP to hit $10 0 cents this market cycle, and potentially way beyond. Simple math and a solid thesis back his bold prediction. If you're curious about the details behind this confident outlook, dive into his video for the full breakdown. The conviction hasn't wavered. If anything, it's stronger than ever. $10 0 cents is just the start for XRP this cycle, with the potential for much bigger moves ahead. The confidence from blockchain enthusiasts remains unwavering. In his latest video, one prominent supporter emphasized that the recent market pullback is nothing out of the ordinary. Retracements like this are par for the course. A point echoed by analysts across the board, even if they don't agree on every detail. Bottom line, this dip isn't a sign of trouble, but rather a routine part of the cycle. He's still betting big on one final parabolic surge, predicting a market peak soon. His XRP price target, a bold $8 0 cents, $10 0 cents range, is just taking a little longer than previous cycles to get there, but the destination remains the same. Meanwhile, Dark Defender shared his own analysis, noting XRP faced resistance at $2.22 and $2.36, playing out as expected, with the dip to $2.13. He believes XRP is wrapping up the correction phase and is keeping a close watch on the $2 0 cents level. Today, let's dive into the structure of the fifth monthly wave and break it into 5 subwaves. We're projecting an incoming surge split into the 5 waves outlined to your left. According to the analysis, the initial wave could push XRP towards $3 0 cents, with wave 3 and wave 5 targeting $4.40 and $6.30 respectively in the short term, supported at $1.88. If this plays out, we're looking at a return to all-time high territory, finally entering price discovery for the first time in over 7 years. Beyond that, double digits are on the horizon. While the exact peak isn't set in stone, an $18.00 target has been floated for some time, and it aligns with what the chart suggests. Conviction in this projection remains unwavering. Chart analyst Javon Marks recently shared his thoughts with an XRP/USD chart, pointing out some striking synchronicities. He highlighted a massive 530% surge, skyrocketing from 53 cents to over $3.30. His chart analysis tells the story of what's unfolding, and it's starting to heat up. In the last XRP cycle, a hidden bullish divergence signaled a breakout, and now the same setup is emerging for 2024. Back then, it led to a significant upward move. Could history repeat itself? That's exactly what he's pointing out. With lower timeframes now flashing bullish signals, another rally might be on the horizon for XRP. Sure, we're seeing the usual ups and downs, small spikes here, slight dips there, but overall, it's just sideways action for now. The real question is, how long until the next big move? Stay tuned. Another analyst is spotting patterns in the charts, boosting confidence that a major move to the upside is on the horizon. And here's more fuel for that theory. Chart analyst Steph Crypto points out that XRP trading volume has hit historical lows. We all know what this typically signals, right? That's right. Low volume often sets the stage for a significant move. Now, the real question is, will the next big shift be upwards or downwards? Considering we're in the middle of a bull market, an explosive move to the upside wouldn't be shocking. Of course, markets love to keep us on our toes, as seen when XRP dipped briefly to $1.60. It wasn't the end of the world, but the point here is clear. When volume shrinks to these levels, big moves tend to follow. Take a look at 2024. You remember what went down in November, right? But check out how trading volume had dipped only to suddenly surge like never before. What came with it? A massive price spike for XRP, something we hadn't seen in years, almost a decade. And then boom, it happened. The key takeaway: low volume often sets the stage for big moves, and I'm feeling optimistic. It's hard not to be bullish right now. Chart analyst Dom shared an interesting insight. XRP spot flows are telling a story. Over the past week, there's been significant market selling. $132 million 0 cents XRP net sold. Upbit alone accounted for $57 million 0 cents of that. It's no wonder XRP hasn't had sustained upward momentum lately. I just wanted to point out that this kind of volatility is totally normal in a bull market. It's going to zig, it's going to zag. It's just how it goes. At the same time, though, something interesting is happening. In the past few weeks, smart money has been pouring into XRP. Whales and institutional investors are making moves, as I've been tracking here. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has dipped slightly, sitting closer to $98,000 0 cents. Pretty standard stuff. The key takeaway: optimism is still alive and well. The analysts I follow remain bullish, and the excitement isn't fading anytime soon. These are the analysts who nailed it, calling the market bottom years ago and predicting XRP would crush this cycle and break out. And guess what? They were spot on. Now, they're all saying the ride isn't over yet. The consensus: time is running out. Most agree there's one final explosive move left in this cycle. After that, it's game over. These are seasoned pros with solid track records, and their big picture alignment is hard to ignore. So yeah, I'm sticking with them. It's fascinating to watch. I've got plenty of skin in the game, and I know many of you do too. Bottom line, there's plenty of reason to stay optimistic. Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't base your buys or sells on anything I say or write. Seriously, that could end badly.